Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you had a wonderful week. Right, so I have said in the beginning of August that August is usually a slow trading month, but up until last week, the market has still been on a trend, but I do see that now it looks like we're going to start to look at some consolidation and a bit of pullbacks, but we'll look at all of that when we start with the market analysis just now. All right, so if you are only interested in specific pairs, go under the description on each and every one of my videos. If you just click on the show more tab, let's just click back here. So the video that I have here is for the 22 to 26th of July. So if you click on the show more tab, you'll find the timestamps for each and every pair that's going to be discussed here this morning. Right, so I am looking at this one here. The one that you see on the screen here is the oil analysis that we did on the 22nd of July, or rather the 21st of July. That was a Sunday before the 22nd. You'll see how that one has played out amazingly well. But we'll look at that as we do the market analysis and look at some of the trade setups. Okay, so if you are looking to contact me, I've got my email address there and my mobile number, which you can use via Telegram or WhatsApp. I've also got a Telegram channel that is not for posting trades or any setups. It is for posting the live webinar link. So if you want the live webinar links for these videos, you'll find it on this Telegram channel. You can just click on it and join it. I post it every time. Or else you can also follow the link on my profile on TradingView, but I think the easiest is if you just follow it on this Telegram channel. That's where I post it. You can also find it on my Facebook profile as well. I don't want to go through that. If you go to my Facebook profile, you will find the webinar link as well. I'm also not very active on Twitter, but I do post the link on Twitter as well. So that is my Facebook profile name, and you will see that the link is also posted there for those that are looking for the trade. I also post the link on the comment section of the previous video, so that's where you'll find the webinar link. Right, so we're currently running our August course, which is going to be done by the 26th of this month. Okay, so if you're interested in joining us for the September course starts on the 9th and it will end on the 19th of September. So for more details on the course, use the contact details that are under the description of the videos. It's an amazing course where we go through the whole Elliott wave theory and practical application. As you've seen, if you've been watching these videos or you've just come across them, you'll see that we trade differently. We don't do it the normal way. You'll see how amazing that strategy is. Okay, so let's get started with today's market analysis. I will start with the cryptocurrencies as usual. Now we're going to start with Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you something that I showed you last week, and I'm going to try and show it again because it has played out exactly, the first move has played out exactly as we analyzed last week. So now let's look at Bitcoin first. I did a comparison between Bitcoin and Euro US dollar, some previous patterns that have played out, that have played out, and we're going to look at those again. All right, so let's start again. So this is Bitcoin. Let's just do a bit of a recap of what we looked at last week. I think I'm jumping a bit of a gun here. I should have shown you the trade setups that we had for the last week. Okay, so what you see here on Slack, let's just have a look here on my trade setup. So this is what we share with our members. I just want to show you the ones that we've traded together here, and the latest one was pound US dollar. So pound US dollar has not quite reached its target as yet, but it is pulling back. So if you see here, we wanted pound to US dollar to go into the blue box and drop. And then if you go to the market now, you will see that it has now dropped exactly as analyzed. Okay, so let's just do a bit of a recap first before we go into Bitcoin. So pound US dollar, let's just have a look here. So I just want to show you the trades. Let's go for hour, or rather 1 hour. See how amazing the blue box magic strategy is. This is what we call it. It's the blue box magic strategy. Right, so this is where we took the trade for 1 hour. And it looks like we're getting another one. Let's go 1 hour here. Okay. So the week before last, I showed you that we wanted to buy pound as it breaks up to actually pushes into the blue box, can you see that it just goes into the blue box and reverses as expected? So that is the move here that we had here, selling from the blue box, and then it keeps going down like this, couple of hundred pips down there, and then it does not quite reach the target because the target was actually here. Now it is busy making this correction, and it looks like we're going to have another blue box area position, but that is for the market analysis. We're not going to do that now. Okay, some of the trades that we closed here was USDJPY. And what do I have first here? Let's have a look. We've discussed gold. Gold, you can see from right at the bottom here, we wanted it to go to 1,500. My apologies, last week I did not analyze gold, but in any case, there hasn't really been any move on gold in the last week, so that's okay. So I have been updating this one from the moment it started doing this. It started pulling back here. I was looking for this move. So you can see that after this pullback, we actually made a 5-wave move, which is a triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is A, B, C, D, E, and a push out of the triangle. After the triangle, we started making this corrective structure. We followed the corrective structure until we got this move to the upside. So that $200 move that we got out of that. Okay, so that was gold. Now the amazing one of the amazing trades was this one. This is the blue box magic. I call it the magic because this is what happens. It actually does exactly what you expect it to do. It goes into the blue box, and then it did this. This one has reached the full target, has now made a bit of a corrective structure here, which I expected to go one more down. I believe it will still do that. So you can see that it was a 1 and a 2 move to the one move to the upside, and then this drop of over 300 pips to around 105 area. That has played out amazingly well. So you can see the price. Let me just show you the price. Pound US dollar. Let's look at that move. So that is the move. As you can see, this is the expectation. You can see that the lines are a little bit skewed. We wanted it to push into the blue box and then drop. Full target reached. We've now made this corrective structure. I expected it to drop lower, but it looks like it's going to go more sideways in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of sessions, not weeks, sorry. So that is how that one has played out. So let's look at some more. Pound CAD, not pound CAD, US dollar CAD. We're going to look at this one during the market analysis webinar. It has gone up here, but it's not convincing. It looks like we're making a 3-wave corrective structure here that will push a bit higher. So this one has pushed up as expected, and that is how we're going to be looking at it. There was a US dollar gain. This is US dollar chief. This one is an old trade from the 23rd of July. It did not go like that. It went a bit up here, did not reach the target, has dropped, but we'll update that. We've got a clear view of what it's supposed to do, as well as the euro pairs as well. So that is what we have been looking at. So now this is euro US dollar. Euro US dollar, we've had a pulsing move from the blue box that we wanted, but it did not go as we wanted it to here after this corrective structure. It has now instead come down here. I will update what the structure looks like now. Okay, that is euro US dollar. CHFJPY, this is after the blue box. This is after the blue box trade that we got from there. This pullback in 3 waves, and now we're expecting this one. It has come down around this level. We'll update that because it's also going sideways, not dropping as fast as we wanted it to. Then following our 2 new trades that we're going to be looking at in our group. We already have some blue box trades that we're going to be looking at in the next week. So that is what we have been looking at. Now be careful in August. I know it's towards the end of August, but for the next couple of sessions, we're looking at pullbacks. Okay, so I have been getting a lot of messages and inboxes on my different various trading social media platforms with people very excited that they've made a lot of money. And all I can say is congratulations, but the question is, how often have you made that amount of money? Okay, if it is once off, it is once or two or three times. I don't get excited. I don't get excited. I mean, for me, it's like somebody with a day job who has got a fixed pay date. When your salary comes, you don't get excited. You don't get surprised because you expect it. Same as with trading. If you still get excited about making some money sometimes, then you're still not ready to be a trader because that money is not going to be consistent. You need to be consistently making profits. But understanding, obviously, that you're not going to win everything, but those losses are just residuals. Okay, so you should be making money consistently, and you should also understand when to stay out of the market. Okay, sometimes you need sometimes taking no position is actually a good position. So you need to have the discipline to be consistent as well. Do the small things consistently with the same discipline every single time, and then you'll be a profitable trader. So I don't get excited with once-off wins, and I can understand. I mean, look at this, and if you look at most of the pairs, these are the pulsing moves that you've had. Now look what would have been happening to traders who have been trying to sell this one in the last week. This is what happened. It did not go anywhere. It went sideways. You probably tried to buy, it came back and took you out. You probably tried to buy, it came back and took you out. You probably tried to sell, it came back and took you out. So all those profits that you have made in the last couple of sessions, you could be giving them away now. And imagine, and you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen now is that you are so confident now that you can trade that you even overexpose your account because you've been making money. You've not been making a lot of losses. So because you're overconfident, you take highly oversized positions. Okay, so do not get too excited. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, respect the market. We are not magicians. We are focusing and trying to understand. We are speculators of the market, so that means we cannot be 100%. As accurate as we can be, we are not 100%. That's why you need to use risk management. Hey, let's now look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Another trade that I did not put under trade setup was oil. So the reason why I don't have it on under trade setup is because I was actually not trading this. Let's just put back. So as you can see, I've got the timestamps here. You can go to oil 22 to 26 July video. 22 to 26 July video. You'll see how we looked at oil when it was still here. So we looked at oil. So that's. I expected to have a corrective structure there where you can see the video is playing. The corrective structure that that was indicating on the 22nd of July, that has happened. The drop down retested the bottom as I've indicated there, as you can see. So that is 1, 2, 3 moves that you've seen happen. So this one is here. Let me write. I'm currently annotating with red, guys. So the yellow is the previous video. So this is where we are now with oil. I wanted to come test the top here and then maybe break down again here. So can you see that we can actually trade more than one move ahead? Okay, so this is how amazing this strategy is. It's not like any other method. That's why we can trade, we can focus. I mean, our focus can be about up to 5 years. So we know how the market is going to move in the next 5 years. Obviously, it does not move in a straight line. So you need to track it from the small time frame as the market unfolds. That is the beauty of the Elliott wave theory. You're never gonna run out of trades, but you need to know when not to trade. You don't want to trade the corrections. Right, Bitcoin. Let's stop that. So go watch this trade, go watch this video, and you go back to as far as you can on my videos. You'll see how amazing the accuracy is. Okay, so that is what we're looking at on Bitcoin. I want to look at the 4-hour. Looking at the 4-hour. So last week we were right here at the top on Bitcoin. We were right here, and I indicated that we're gonna look for a drop here, and there's a reason why I'm looking for a drop here, and I'm gonna show you once again. I showed this last week. Now I think I can try and show it better. Let's look at Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar. I want to show the comparison between the patterns that we're looking at here and what we're going to be looking at on Bitcoin. So let's look at Euro US dollars. Remember, the analysis is still Bitcoin, but the patterns that are happening, the current pattern that is happening on Bitcoin has happened quite a number of times on Euro US dollar. So let's start. Let's go with the weekly first on Euro US dollar. Let's switch off here. We'll just look at the pattern now. Okay, so I showed you last week this pattern on Euro US dollar. So this is the weekly view on Euro US dollar. Watch this. This one drops here 1, 2, 3. It pulls back in 3 waves. Get it down, that, and then it goes all the way. Okay, now let's find another one. So this is just the one pattern. Let's look at another one. I'm going to go to the daily. I'm going to leave that one on there. Let's look at another one. Let's look at this one on the 4-hour rather. Hour. Now here's another one. Can you see this is a different type? This is a different time frame, a completely different area. Now what do you have here? You've got a gain. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I want it to be almost the same size as that. So you've got 3 waves down, 3 waves, 1, 2, 3. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Pull back in 1. You get down here. You get down, you pull back again. And then what happens? You go all the way down. Okay, so that is the one. There's still another one on same pair. Currently here, this is what we looked at before this downside, this down move. Now this is another area, as you can see. Again, we get 1, 2, 3. Get the blue again. Pull back in 3 waves. Down. Pull back. What happens? Pull back. What happens there? You see, goes all the way down. Now this is all on euro. This is all on euro. Can you see? I've got 1. I've got 2. I've got 3. Exactly similar patterns that have played out exactly the same. Now, let me not do that. So now this is euro, US dollar. I'm going to put up Bitcoin now. Let's get Bitcoin. Let's take these numbers off for now. I'm going to put on Bitcoin here at the bottom. No, not Brentwood, rather Bitcoin. Let's get Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the 4-hour. This is Bitcoin at the bottom. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, what do we have here? You've got a move down, move up, a move down. Now, what do you have here? You've got a pullback. You've got this move coming. No, a pullback should be red, right? Let's make it as exactly as it is. You've got a pullback in red. Now, you've got a blue here coming down. What do you want? You just want this, and you want this to drop down. How far will this drop down? Then we'll update this one to the market analysis. Now let me move this away. Now you can see on the screen, you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3 patterns from Euro US dollar. This is not Bitcoin. These patterns have happened in more than once on the same pair, and now we're seeing exactly the same pattern on Bitcoin. What does pattern mean? Pattern means repeat. And here, where are we with on Bitcoin? We are here. We are right here. What do we want? We want a pullback. And if we get that pullback, we're going to be looking for this move to the downside. And then we're going to update the whole cycle and the sequence on the wave count itself. So that is what we're expecting on Bitcoin. We're expecting a bit of a pullback and a drop. Simply because every time we get a pullback, we get the drop. Every time we get a pullback, we get a drop. Every time we get a pullback, I think I've messed it up a bit here. Every time we get it, this should have been the blue here. Let me fix this. This here should have been the red. This was the red, guys. You can go check it. There, blue, and then the yellow. Okay, exactly the same thing. So that's what we're expecting here. Every time you get a pullback in blue, you get the drop down. Okay, amazing pattern. So that's what gives you confidence when you trade. So now let's have a look at Bitcoin and what we expect it to do. Let's go back up here. Let's bring the chart up. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback here. So this has made 3 waves down, maybe a bit of a pullback here before we get this move to the downside. So let's watch this corrective structure, and then we'll look to take it to the downside. Last week we were here. I showed you the exact same pattern, and that we're expecting this move. Now we've got this move. Now we want this move, and then this move. Let's see how that plays out. So it's going to be an amazing one if it plays out like that. That is Bitcoin. Looking at Litecoin. All right, so Litecoin. When Litecoin made this pulsing move to the downside, it looked like a 3-wave move, and I expected that was going to carry on with the move to the upside. But it looks like it has now made this corrective structure, and we'll look for it to push a little bit lower. Okay, a little bit lower up to this level. Okay, so that is Litecoin, 3 waves down. What's going to happen from there? We'll probably have a deeper correction after that, and then another continuation pattern to the downside. So we wait for this one for the next coming session. Just this drop here. That is Litecoin. Ethereum. Ethereum, you can see it's exactly the same as well. You've got a move down. This looks like a 5-wave move to the downside. So we've got here 1, 2, 3. Let's do this properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to be expecting a deeper corrective structure for another move down. So there should be an ABC correction here. Let's see how that plays out. So now you want the correction, and then you want to move to the downside. Ethereum. Ripple has now retested that level that I've always wanted it to test. Now let's see if we're going to get a bounce here. Let's switch this on here. So Ripple, I've always wanted it to touch this level here, and it has now reached that level. What should I expect now? I expect that we're going to have a bit of a bounce here. So Ripple may start bouncing back up here, and then we get this move here, and then upside. So you can look at the structure here. Let me show you the structure in just blue. Just follow the blue, just so to show you the high degree structure. Look at the W is 3 waves down. The X is expected to be a 3-wave move. So that is 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm expecting. That's the move I'm expecting. And then this down here before we get any upside. Okay, so Ripple is looking good now, but you don't just go and buy here without any confirmation of a reversal. So if you need to get a pulsing move here and a move to the upside, you also need to be careful with this pulsing move, because if this is going to be invalidated, that's going to be a 3-wave pullback, and this one is going to come down here. Maybe even make an expanding flat. Okay, so you don't pick the bottoms here. You need to have a clear confirmation of reversal around that level. All right, so now let us go to the US dollar pairs. Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar, as I've shown you during the trade setups, I was expecting continuation to the upside when we. So this let's first show the structure. Let's look at the structure first. Now, the structure that we're looking at on Euro US dollar, we're looking at this impulsive move to the downside. Let's get yellow here. This is the impulsive move, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5. I'm expecting it to be an ending diagonal, after which we should get a pullback in 3 waves. So that pullback does not have to be a zigzag. It can also be a flat correction like that. So it can be any corrective structure, and then we'll look for this one to make another pulsing move to the downside. Why am I looking for it to do that? That's because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. So it can make a big A, this can make a big B, and this can make a big C. Now, most people know how to forecast this, but the challenge comes in when you have to take those specific trades. Okay, so that is when you need the strategy to trade this. Now here we had, let's look at this in the lower degree, 1, 2, I'm doing it wrong. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a triangle, a running triangle, and a 5. So we've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a drop. Sorry, it's not a running triangle, it's a normal triangle. And then we get to 5 here. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and then you've got a pullback in 3 waves, giving you a higher degree wave 4. So you've got 1, you've got 1 there, you've got 2 there, you've got 3 there, you've got 4 there, and this whole thing, we're looking at it as a 5. Unfortunately, I used the same color. I should have used a, okay, let's just do this one to show it's got a higher degree. So last week, we expected this to have reached the end of its wave 5. And then we're expecting then that corrective structure to start. Did not go, so what does that mean? Let's have a look here. Let's switch it on. So that means we are probably going for the higher degree. We had the 3-wave move down, we had a 3-wave move up, now we're looking for another 3-wave move down here. So even if this overshoots here, that is still fine, because wave 5 on the diagonal can overshoot, and then we get that. So for the next week, we'll be looking for this to drop, and then maybe that reversal comes. It is still a valid diagonal. It just looks like the wave 5 has got into the higher degree. Right, so this is also not an impulsive move. That is actually a 3-wave move. Now let's just have a look here on the 4-hour. See if you can see it clearly. One hour. Okay, so we've got this one here. 1, 2, 3, and an extended wave C there. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at now is to go back into the blue box, maybe even push lower, get the 3-wave move, and then push higher. So that's what we're going to be looking at on Euro US dollar. The euros this week, they look downside. So even if this does this, let's switch on here. All the euro pairs, they look downside. You'll see as you do the euro pairs. So even if we do this here, we can do this and then still drop and make this 3-wave structure. So watch out for this corrective structure. These are very small trades to look at. High risk reward is not very good to be selling here. Okay, so that is Euro US dollar. I was not even taking this because I was expecting this to push higher. That was my trade for the last week. Okay, so that is Euro US dollar CAD. Now US dollar CAD, let's look at the 4-hour here, or rather the daily. US dollar CAD, I expected this one to be a 1, 2, 3, and then a push higher. Okay, it is pushing higher, but it's pushing quite a bit slow. So even if we've got this impulse looking on the daily here, this looks like we're going to have a corrective structure here, and then we're going to still push higher. Okay, so last week when it looked like it was dropping, it looked like it was going to make this structure. 3 waves down. 1, 2, 3 into the blue box, because it did not reach the blue box, but this has now gone too deep for it to come down. So what we are going to be looking at for now is going to be a corrective structure here. Then we will look for the last move to the upside to get us that last Z before we drop. Okay, so let's watch US dollar CAD. Let's watch this corrective structure. It's going sideways now. So when this is complete, we will be looking for this to go retest the top and then drop. Why do we want it to retest the top there? Is because we'll be looking for that final Z. Okay, we're looking for the last Z move here. So if we get to that Z move here around this level, I'll be looking for this big move here. This move will be exactly the same. If you look at the previous videos, I showed you exactly how we traded this. So try to go back to the previous videos. You'll see on US dollar CAD how we traded this. I've shown it. I can't remember which video exactly, but just keep going back to the videos and click on US dollar CAD on the timestamps. You will find the explanation as to why and how we got this 1,300 pips. This 600 plus 600, that's 1,000. That's 1,200 plus 1,300. So that was 2,500 pips in just a single trade over just a few weeks. Okay, so that is US dollar CAD, and that we're going to be looking for this. So no specific trade setup as yet. It is busy building this corrective structure on the 4-hour. So watch it. What are you going to be looking at for in the short term? You'll be looking for this one to come retest the bottom here and then push higher. Okay, So that's what you have for now on US dollar CAD. Let's switch off all of this. It looks so it doesn't look confusing. This is what you're looking at this year. So that's gonna give you 1, 2, 3, and continuation to the upside. Watch this coming down in 3 waves. US dollar chief. Okay, US dollar chief. If you look on the 4-hour, it looks like we're coming down, and it looks like we've got this expanding flat here, 1, 2, 3. And if it is that expanding flat, then that means our euro US dollar may continue to the upside after this. So as this is going sideways, euro may become completing its wave 5, and then this one continues, euro continues its wave 5. This one pushes higher than the. No, this is not going to be right because we want the inverse here on the between the euro and this one. Okay, so let's just bring the euro also up here in 2 screens so we can look at that correlation. Because this, we have been trading US dollar chief just based on what the euro was doing when we didn't have to have a clearer structure on it. The right hand side will be euro again. Let's bring euro again. So euro here, we could start making a pullback for that correction. As we're making that pullback, we should be getting a drop here. This comes down here. We should be making a pullback here. Then when when we push higher here from the euro, when we push higher, we should be getting this one to continue with the move to the downside. You can see. So that is the correlation. And this one makes sense because you've got this continuation pattern here, 1, 2, 3. Right, so correction here to the upside, this one drops. Okay, then as this one drops, this one starts correcting, this one starts dropping. So the moves must just be opposite because the correlation strength between this one in the last couple of days has been strong. And we have just been trading US dollar chief based on what the euro was doing. Okay, let's go back to the euros. That is the expectation on the US dollar chief. So we're going back to the US dollar chief. You've got a textbook expanding flat there. Look for this one to do that and then drop. Now, how far do you want it to drop? Let's go to the daily because we now have the structure. We're not just looking at the euro anymore. The structure that we're looking at is for this one to do this. Let's show there. It's for this to retest the low here. Let's switch off. We want it to do this structure and then push higher. That's why we want it to drop from here to come down here and then push higher. Why do we want it to do that? Because here looks like we've got a bigger expanding flat and then we're gonna push higher. Okay, so that is the structure and that is how clear it is. 1, 2, 3, drop a little bit lower and then go up. So as this does this, the euro must be coming down. That's US dollar chief, pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, I showed you that we already have a trade set up for this one. It still looks like we're still coming down with pound US dollar. Let's just go look on the 4-hour here, the 1 hour. Last week's trade was from the blue box. It has now retraced those gains, but you're getting another entry from the blue box. Okay, so we've got this one here, sold from the blue box, dropped from there to there, and now it looks like it's correcting again. We've got another new blue box here. Let's see how this goes in the next week. You need to have a confirmation. This is not clear as yet. It is not confirmed as yet. You need to have a clear, correct pulsing move, and then a move to the downside. And that's what you're going to be looking at on pound US dollar. Before we do pound US dollar, let's look at Audi US dollar. Now, Audi US dollar, I have to show you the weekly here because the structure is going to be clearer on the weekly. You'll see why. We switch off here. So the long-term analysis on your Audi US dollar, we want a bounce at current levels, and that bounce may come. So this is what we're looking at here. Now on euro, on Audi US dollar, let me show you the whole chart here and what I'm looking at. This is the stuff that you guys don't see. See, the chart is not only labeled in one string. The chart is labeled the whole cycle is labeled. Okay, so here what you see is data that is not available on TradingView that I've added manually. This is from the historical data that you can find in any website that gives market data from 1953 up to this current level. So this yellow I have added. This is how this has been playing out before 1994. So you don't have this data on TradingView. Maybe on some brokers you might have it, like ICE Market, but as far as this one is concerned, that is how far you have this one. Now looking at the last leg here, and you cannot focus this last leg without understanding what is happening historically. Looking at this last leg, let's go blue. We've got 3-wave move to the downside. I've got 3-wave move pullback, just follow the blue. Now what are we looking at here? 1, this is the 2, it has not happened as yet. We've got this 1, 2, I'm expecting this bounce up, and then we continue with the move to the downside. So I'm expecting 2 moves here. And this is then the weekly, so you need to wait for this one to bounce and then come down. Now let's go back to the daily and look at this area. Now that we know what's going on there, let's look at the 4-hour. Okay, are we getting any signs there of a push higher? Let's have a look. Let's switch off. So what we have now is an impulsive move. It's an impulsive move to the upside. And then it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 waves down. And in a different degree, we've got another pulsing move. So if this is the case, we could be getting this one to go retest the top, this one coming down here in another 3 waves, and then pushing higher. That will be a WXY structure, and then we push to go retest the top there, so that we can get that last move to the downside. Okay, so for now, there's no setup here. We're not ready to go up yet. So even if we do get a trade here, it may just come back up here, come back in 3 waves and push higher. That's Audi US dollar, New Zealand US dollar. New Zealand US dollar. So that's New Zealand US dollar, same as Audi US dollar. We've got a pulsing move here. We just need to see if we get this 3-wave move to the downside and the push higher. But this one may just do this and continue the move to the downside. So we're gonna have to monitor both and see how they play out. For now, we're still dropping. It may even retest the bottom here. The 3-wave move can even retest the bottom here. So that is how New Zealand US dollar is playing out now. All right. We have done pound US dollar. So now lastly on the US dollar pairs, US dollar ZAR. Now US dollar ZAR has been doing exactly as expected for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so that's US dollar ZAR on the daily. Very clear structure. The target is back here. So that's the target there. So this is what we looked at now. 3 waves there. And you see that we've got 3 waves there. We've got another 3 waves there. That's an expanding flat there and a running flat there. So we've got a 1, you've got 2, you've got 3. You've got a 1, you've got 2, you've got 3. Now we want this one to come to retest the top, come down in an impulse, all 3 waves. So the impact of how this comes down here will determine how we trade this whole leg. So for now, we're looking at this one to just be an ABC structure for the sake of explanation here, but it may be a WXY structure. If it is WXY structure, we trade it differently, and then this is going to push higher. So what does this mean? Can you see how far the US dollar ZAR is going to go, how strong the US dollar is going to be against the South African rand on the long term? So not good news for us South Africans here, as far as the rand is concerned against the dollar. So for now, short term, with US dollar is looking strong, but we're going to get some strength on the ZAR, then quite a long-term weakness here, almost the same move as this, and that will be like W. Let's go to this one here. That will be like a W, X, and a Y, and that is how far we're going to go. Almost not even just here, about 18 ZAR area, 18 ZAR to the dollar. Okay, so that's not going to be good for the South Africans. Right, so what are you looking to trade in? And you know, you should not be buying the US dollar ZAR until you see a reversal here, signs of reversal here, because this is now very close. It's a very short price move from there to there. Okay, let's see what is happening. We should be getting a corrective structure to propel it to go to that level. As you can see, this is one. This is let me show you this one in a bit more detail, so you can understand how we look at this. Now, if you look at this, this is not a move that is ready to go as yet, and this looks like this. You've got a three-wave move to the downside, but you've got a pulsing move here. So this is what you could have here: another three-wave move, push up higher, three waves down, and then a move to the upside. What does this do? You understand that this is going to be a WXY structure. Then it goes. So if you don't understand this, you'll find yourself just buying this and losing the trades, just buying and losing the trades. So if you understand how the corrective structures move, then you will wait, you'll be patient until this plays out, and then take the trade, because the trade that you're looking for is not these moves. I can focus this move with a high degree of accuracy, very high degree of accuracy, but I don't trade these short moves because I know the chances of getting them wrong are very high. But I want these high probable moves that are easy to trade. You know, the trades that I take, I can take. I mean, if you can take a 10 lot size trade and go to sleep, that is how confident you should be of a move. A 10 lot trade without a stop loss and go to sleep. Oh, don't try this at home. I'm just giving you the amount of confidence that you should have when you take a trade. Okay. Right. So that is what we're looking at on this pair. DXY, I should have looked at it with the euro, but it's just going to be doing what the opposite of what the euro is doing. So we should just be continuing with the move to the upside, get it to do that, push higher. Why do we want it to push higher? Because we also have a diagonal on the DXY. That is the inverse of what is happening on the euro. But you can see here, we've got a very strong divergence, lower lows, lower highs, higher highs, higher highs. So this should drop at some point, even if this pushes higher and does this, that will just be the last wave 5 like this. Okay, and this is our diagonal here. That is our diagonal, and we'll be looking for this one to now do that 3-wave pullback that we're looking for. Even if it does this or this, that should be fine. Okay, so a bit of a push higher, we're still gonna drop, guys. We're still gonna drop. Okay, that is the DXY. Now let's look at the yen pairs. Now this is pound yen. You can see that pound yen on the daily, if you look at it, if you don't understand how this moves, you'll be scared and panicking that this is now reversing. It does not look like it's reversing to me. It looks like we're making a corrective structure and we're gonna drop, because my overall target on this one now is now around 124 area. Let's go into this higher degree structure. I'm looking for this one to go to the 124 area, around this area here. But it's very close now. You should not be, you really should not be taking any new trades here for long term, because at 124 anything can happen. But let's look at current levels and look at the correction that's happening at current levels. I think I've even posted this one on TradingView, and this was my expectation. I think I've got this one on TradingView in the last week, 1, 2, 3. This was my expectation for it to do this. You'll also see all these updates on the chart. I'll show you just now. Okay, so when it started doing this 3-wave move there, I updated it. Let's just go look at those ideas. It still has not gone. It has just kept going on correcting. So this was the one I posted on the 12th of August. That was last week. If you look at this one, this was on the daily. Why do I have this? I shouldn't have posted it with the RSIs. Let's do this. Show this there. All right, let's go to that idea. And this was what happened. So I was looking for this one to have made only a 3-wave move down here and then drop. Instead, it did not make a 3-wave move down. It made another 3 waves there and then push higher like that. Okay, let's have a look here on the updates. Or why am I taking it off? Let's look at the updates again. I have to scroll down, not close it. Okay, so that was that. As it was as this was when it was making the three waves. It was making the three waves. It looks like it was breaking down and it was gonna go, but instead there was three waves for another move to the upside. Then we updated that it was gonna go have a blue box at the top there, and this is where we are now around this area. It was pushed out of the blue box. So we actually want it now to make one more move to the upside based on the degree that we're seeing here. Now we're looking for this to come down from there. So this is still a corrective structure, okay? Expecting it to drop from here, but it has made an even bigger corrective structure like that, okay? The smaller one was this one here. Okay, so this was 1, 2, 3, the first one that I expected before the drop, and now we've made this 1, 2, 3. It is still a corrective structure. This one is just a smaller degree. So smaller degree, smaller degree. Now we are in this smaller degree. Now we'll be looking for this one to do that. Okay, so just to give you a bit of education, this can even do this, but I don't expect it to do that, and then make a bigger structure. This is what we call fractals. Now you'll have an even bigger degree. These are 3 degrees now in one. I'm just showing you just to show so you can see how the market moves. Okay, but that's not what is happening. That's not what we're expecting. We're expecting it to get into the blue box and then drop from there. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. I'll update this one. All right, so that is pound yen. Let's go through the rest of the yen pairs. USDJPY. USDJPY reached the target from the blue box. This was a very quick 430 pips from the blue box. Now it has now, after making the target here, made this 3-wave move here, and this is what we looked at in our group, and you'll see almost all the yen pairs have made this 3-wave pullback structure. Now we've got the pulsing move, and I expected this to just go and drop. But it looks like this is now going to make a deeper corrective structure here. So let's watch this corrective structure. This is what I expect of it. Drop a little bit lower here. So if it drops lower there, then you're getting a W, you're getting an X, you can get another corrective structure here, and the whole thing becomes a bigger corrective structure for one more down. Okay, because I'm looking for this one to come down here. What is that W? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is my forecast, and then this drop. All of the yen pairs have done the same. Let's go through them, but now you cannot be trading this. This way you stay out of the market because you don't have a clearer structure of what's going to happen there. So on the yen pairs, you stay away from that. Euro US dollar, sorry, Euro yen. Euro yen actually took this trade from here in our group on Euro yen and EUROCHF. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. Got this corrective structure because we had a pulsing move and a correction, and we're looking for this one to come down. Now, this will give us direction as to what the yen pairs are going to do. Is this now the corrective structure that we're waiting for that will continue with the move to the downside? If this does that, then this would be the one that we trade in the next coming sessions. CHFJPY was the clearer one. As you can see there, this is where we took CHF yen after the corrective structure there. Now we want to see if we're going to get another corrective structure on all of the yen pairs. USDJPY is not clear. We can see, but that is correcting it, but it's not clear. But Euro and CHF are clearer, so we will look at Euro and CHF. Audi. You can see that structure again. This is a 3-wave move like that. We expected that's going to drop, give us a correction, and continue with the drop. But the market is not that straightforward. That's why we see that this one is not as clear now. We can see a pullback here, a push down here. We could have something like this, and that will make another structure like this. If you look at this red here, that is part of the new move now. This is the one that we wanted it to go. I hope it's clear. This is part of the new move, correction, move, then in that case, you're still missing another corrective structure here. So that's going to be a double before we go down, as you've seen with the yen, with the US dollar yen. Then we look for this. So bit of sideways in the next couple of sessions. So you should not be looking to trade here. Look for clear structures. Well, if it plays out and goes without you, that's fine. Okay, you did not lose the trade. If a trade goes without you, does not mean you lost it. You can watch it go, but at least you are safe. That is Audi yen. New Zealand, same structure. You can see all of them have made these pullbacks here. We had these strong pulsing moves last week, or Thursday or Friday. Now we'll be looking for this one to do the same here. 1, 2, 3 there. Not like that. So that's a pulsing move. Let's draw it with a different color. It's a pulsing move there. This could be a corrective structure. Something like this. That would be your X and another one. So also here, double. Also a double here, 1, 2, 3. Then we look for downside. So we are not looking to trade this yen pairs in the next coming sessions. We're waiting for these corrective structures to give us an indication. In any case, the moves to the downside are not so big anymore. CAD, same. 3-wave pullback and a pulsing move to the downside. That's your 3 waves. That is your pulsing move. This is your 1, this is your 2, this is your 3. This is going to drop now. Let's see how this goes. That's CAD. All right, now let's look at silver and gold. Start with gold. We didn't do gold last week. Now, I've shown you gold under trade setups. I just want to show you why I was calling for the 1,500 target. And from 1,500, I'm out of gold until I get a new setup. Okay, let's go weekly. So you can see what you don't usually see when you trade this. So I've been saying I'm calling out for 1,500 from when we were here, because I saw this 1, 2, 3, 4, ending diagonal in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you follow the blue, you'll see we've got the 3 waves up in blue. And then you've got these 3 waves in yellow there, in this dark blue there. And you're looking for this one to make another 3 waves. Let me do it cleanly so you can see. Let me do it with straight lines. This is wave 1, this is wave 2, this is wave 3, this is wave 4, running flat. Wave 5 is a ending diagonal. Now, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comes A, B, C, or W, X, Y. In this case, we've got W, and this is my X, and this is my Y. And this is why I have been calling out for this target. I'm done with this target now. So I'm waiting to see how the market is going to react from current levels. So what do you have here? Higher degree, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, or W, X, Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, W, X, Y. We are done with the swing and its correction. So this cycle is complete cycle. Okay? Now, 2 things can happen. Either we continue with the move to the downside with another pulsing move, or we correct. Okay? Or we correct. So if we're correcting, and this one is an X, then we're going to get another bigger corrective structure. So that means we're going to be extended here for quite some time still. But let's see now, we need to start seeing some signs of a pullback. So this can even make a deeper pullback like this. It will be making a different structure. Let me remove this, which we will update in the next coming session. So that could be a bigger W, a bigger X. So this X can be there or it can be there. We'll make another 3-way move to the upside. Okay, but I don't see it going up in a straight line and just going to retest the top there. I'm expecting we should get a pullback from current levels. That is gold. So even if you get a slight push to the upside there, I don't think it's going to go all the way. Silver. Has also made its three-wave move. 1, 2, 3. So if silver is going to retest the 20s, we need to get a deeper correction, the same corrective structure I'm expecting on gold. It's a different structure altogether, but they are correlated. So if gold is going to make a deeper correction, this one should be making this one as well and making another three wave to the upside, because we've already started with 1, 2, 3 up. So this 1, 2, 3 up can do 1, 2, 3 to go retest around this 21 area. So, or even break it slightly before coming down. Now, what are we expecting? We're expecting a pullback that will correct the whole three-wave move here. Now, I'm not looking to take these trades as yet until I get a clear confirmation. For now, I'm waiting for pullbacks on both gold and silver. Right now, let's go to the pound pairs. Pound pairs, I showed you correlation of all the pound pairs last week. This is pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is not 5-wave, it's not an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but rather a WXYZ. So now here you also have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're looking for a 5 into the blue box. Okay, so we'll be looking for this one to push higher from there. I showed you I think I showed you 4 pound pairs that are correlated, that are now at critical areas. So these critical areas, this one has just missed it by a few pips and it is busy with this corrective structure. So this corrective structure looks like an expanding flat like this. Let's go lower degree or 4 hour. Kwasi is talking about our mentorship session. Send me an email, as you'll find my contacts on the description of the video, even the previous videos. So send me an email for an inquiry. Right, so pound yen, not pound yen, pound New Zealand, we're looking at this as an expanding flat. Now we've got a drop here. This is a three-wave move. This is another blue box. It's one of the trades that we'll be looking to take in the next week. This is now very deep, so this one may only just come back down here. Possibility that we get this as a double high, and this becomes a WXY corrective structure that is simply a 1, 2, 3 like this. 1, 2, 3, and then we drop. Okay, so even if we do get this one now, it does not look like it's going to drop all the way, but we take it nonetheless and protect it, because it can go from there. So we take this one here. One of the trades that we're looking at in the next session. That's pound New Zealand. Pound Audi also has this corrective structure. So pound Audi, I've shown you so many times how we've traded this one for 2 years in a correction daily here, just to show you why we're looking for this one to drop. Take a snapshot. This corrective structure I showed you was going to happen even way before it formed here. It formed very quickly, 3 waves up here. So this could make this and make it double, and your X can be here. That will not change anything. In fact, if your X is there, I'll even like this trade even better, because after this, we'll expect this drop. But this is now going sideways, and you can see we're on the daily, so it could take a couple of days. This is why I was saying it's time to take a break and stand back and make sure that you are in a clear headspace and you understand what the market is doing before you just jump into trades. Okay? So let's go again to the lower time frame, 4 hours. So you're looking for that X to happen here. Let's watch and see how that goes. So immediate move is for this to drop. So as I said, this can just drop up to here, make another 3 waves, and then drop. What will that do? That will make you WXY. Then we drop. These are even better trades. When they play out like this, I like this because I get a big move to the downside like that. That is pound AUD, pound CAD. Also looking like an expanding flat. It has gone into the blue box, but this is impulsive, so this should be this move here. So pound CAD should be correcting like this, and if this is the case, it may pull back like that, make another one like that, drop for the last time. Or if the rest of the pound pairs are dropping, this is going to drop with them. So this will make a WXY. So you can see that most of the analysis here is forecasting moves, not setups. Okay, so that's pound CAD, pound CHF. We have now reached that critical area that we are looking for, that we want all the pound pairs to reach. Let's go to the daily so you can see what I mean. There we are, retesting that. So we've got a 3-wave move up, 1, 2, 3 down. So it's 3 up, 3 down. Are we gonna bounce here and come down? Or if we don't bounce, then that means that this is all the correction, and then we're looking for this to go down like that. And that's gonna be a big move to the downside. So this is gonna be the decider here. As I've shown you on all the pound pairs, watch last week's analysis on the pound pairs, you'll see how I looked at this. So if we get a correction here, then it's a big move to the downside. And the trend resumes. But do not lose money here trying to pick a bottom or skip selling. Wait for this to confirm, and it will. And it won't leave you behind. That's pound CHF. Now let's look at the euro pairs. Let's start with the euro New Zealand. I said the euros, all the euros are looking downside this week. I'm just going to look at this last piece here. So we've got a pulsing move here. Euro New Zealand, I want it. If the trade that we have been looking at, everybody remembers, is this one here. We dropped 700 pips here. We were looking for 1,000. Okay, that trade did not fully go to target. Now, what has happened now is that I have adjusted this structure like this. So it's going to be a move up, a running flat, a move up, and then we're looking for this to drop. So what does this do? This makes an ABC structure. And internally here, you've got another ABC structure. In here, you've got another ABC structure. It's not always ABC. The red, in fact, is WXY. WXY. Different degree. Let's use a different degree. Let's use purple. WXY. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So we're looking for signs of reversal here. Are we going to get a sign of reversal? Or we're going to get this one to retest the top here? But I'm looking for this move. If it goes and retests the top, then it's a completely different structure. Okay, so let's watch this one and see. Looks like we've got a pulsing move and a correction, but it's not convincing. Let's go 4 hour. This is all very corrective, and if it is corrective like this, it may push one up. So watch this one here. So if we don't get one more up, we're gonna keep getting a correction and start dropping from there. So we need to watch both. Okay, a sell setup, you take a pulsing move, wait for a correction, then take. That's Euro New Zealand, Euro Audi. It just follows what Euro New Zealand is doing. That is that same structure. So on Euro Audi, looks like we're still going to be dropping in the next coming sessions. Looks like this one is going to still do this. EURCAD. So daily. We are looking for this one. And this here is a good example of what that is a good example that sometimes the market may look like it has made a pulse, but in fact it's actually a 3-way move. So we're looking for this to come into the blue box here. It's just going to be a lower degree structure. just going to be a lower degree here. So you can't see the degree here, the three-way move here clearly, but that is the three-way move that you're looking for here. Okay, now this is not a pulsing move, it is a three-way move. Let's see this one. You'll see that this is not a pulsing move, but rather a three-way move. Let's go 1 hour so you can see this structure here. If you look at the 1 hour, it's a clear three-wave structure. But on the daily, you can't see it. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Internally, you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is a clear three-wave movement, not an impulse. And if it's a three-wave move, then there's nothing that stops this from going all the way down. Important to know which one is 3, which one is 5. That's EUROCAD, EUROCHF. Move down is not yet complete. You've got a regular flat there. You've got a pulsing move here. Another correction on the 1 hour, you are dropping once more to this level. That's all on the euros. Let's look at some of the cross pairs. Spamanja, we check your charts during the daily webinars, not on the Sunday webinars. So you remember, so we check those during the daily webinar. All right, so that is AUDCAD. Let's look at AUDCAD. Oh yes, thank you for reminding me. Euro pound, we would have missed euro pound. Thank you, Sharon. Now euro pound has made a passing move after retesting the top here. Wait for a corrective structure to take it down. The structure has not changed. When we were here, we expected it to push higher, and it did. I didn't expect it to push that high. I thought it was just going to break this top, which it did, but then it pushed even higher. Now we've got a passing move down here. Wait for this to correct. Maybe a couple of trading sessions before we get the drop to the downside. So keep an eye on it, watch it. We may be getting our trade now. We've got a passing move, now we wait for the correction. Okay. Easy move there, that's Y ended there, X ended there. Very nice passing move, but it is not confirmed until you get this. Even if you do get this, it may do this. Continue down. Okay, so let's see. That's euro. Let's go to the cross pairs, AUDCAD. Thank you, Sharon. Now, AUDCAD, just on the daily, you can see that we're making this corrective structure, one to push a little bit higher and then drop. Let's go to the lower time frame, because there may be a blue box here. Okay, we've made a passing move, wrong annotation. You've got a passing move up here, you've got a correction, you've got to move up. What you're looking for is for this to come down here. So if it comes down here, it's likelihood that this will go up first before continuing with the move to the downside, and you have something like this. It's overall corrective structure. That makes it WXY. Okay, watch it, looks good, clear. Take it there. If you see a bounce, you take it up, and then take it down. So the big move is this one that you're looking for. Out in New Zealand has made a passing move, but it looks like it's making an ending diagonal there. So if this is a move here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me do this with straight line. You've got passing move 1, 2, 3, and then the 5. Okay, 3, 4. Looks like a 5 is going to make a diagonal. Now, if the 5 makes a diagonal, that means you're going to have a three-wave pullback. And when you get that three-wave pullback, then this should continue up. Watch out for this, and then you're not going to be trading this. You're going to wait for it to push higher and trade this one, because you don't want the corrections. The corrections are where you lose money, and the corrections are where you should understand the market more than any other place. New Zealand CAD, we're still coming down. We got a pulsing move, we got a pulsing move, we got a pulsing move. Looks like we're correcting now. Could have a bounce before we come down and you have something like this. Can I see how this one plays out? New Zealand Chief. New Zealand Chief, we got a 3-way move, a 5-way move up, 1 move down. Let's see what is going on here internally. Let's start it internal and go out with it. This is a pulse. We got a pulse there, we got a correction here. We can come back down here. Now we can look at these 3 waves like this. And if that is the case, you will have this and you'll have that, and then we drop. Okay. So it's so much focusing here on the corrections. Best is to let them play out, then take a trade afterwards. Audi. Same corrective structure. You'll be looking for this to come down when the correction is done. CADJPY. Same regular flat pulsing move. What is this doing? It's going to do that. Make another double. W, X, Y. Then we drop. Okay. Now let's look at oil. I've already shown, not yet. We're going to look at the index just now, ULIS. Playing out on which one? Hyacinth. Let's look at oil. Oil. I don't focus the time frame. I just give you an estimate. So it's not something that I can give you a figure. It's not. I don't do the time analysis. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. We focused that this correction was going to play out and that we're going to drop here. This is the trade I showed you in the beginning of the video. Okay, so now we've got that. We've got this one here. Let's switch this off here. Now let's look at this structure. Because this structure is going sideways. Okay, we focused that we're going to have this correction before it started. We got this one to come retest the low here. Then this one to go up. We actually want this one to come all the way up, but we've got this pulsing move. We've got this corrective structure. Maybe we get something like this, and then we get this one to go retest the top there. So we'll be looking for a slight drop from current levels to come down here and then push higher. The idea is for this to push higher. But sometimes you find that these pulsing moves, if you don't go to the lower time frame, you find that they are 3-wave moves. And if they are 3-wave moves, this one can actually go and do this. But from there, we'll be looking for this one to come down again. That is oil. I use fib levels, but I don't have time to show you all of that in these videos. If I have to show you fib levels, videos will take hours. So definitely use Fibonacci levels. We don't use support or resistances, we use Fibonacci levels. A part of our course is a Fibonacci theory. The whole day we spend it just doing Fibonacci theory. You cannot trade the Elliott wave theory without Fibonacci. We don't use support and resistance. In our analysis, it doesn't exist. All right, so that is oil. Now let's go to the indices, S&P 500. So the indices I'm thinking here, we are looking at wave 5 on the indices. This is the S&P 500 now. Right, so this is our wave 4, bigger wave 4 in blue. I've shown this structure, a couple of webinar specs. So now we're looking for this to be a wave 5. Now there's a likelihood that this becomes a 1, 2. Now we get this one to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to have the end of wave 5 there. So this pulsing move could have been the start of wave 1. This could have been a 2. This one becomes a 3, 4, and a 5. So I've shown 3 in 5 waves, and then we look for that pullback there. Okay, so now we need to watch this and see how this one is playing out. Let's switch on this. I think we're going to get this as an ending diagonal in wave 5. The wave 5 is going to end with a diagonal. Something like that. Something like that. So it has not played out yet. We've got a pulsing move now. We've got a 2. This may not be all of wave 3, but rather wave 3 could be this. 1, 2, 3. Then you have this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, you get a 4, and then you get a 5. For now, we just leave this and see how it plays out. In any case, I will not be trading anything within this diagonal until I get something clearer. Okay, let's look at the Dow, then the NASDAQ. Now, it's not just about the 618 and the 786. The Fibonacci theory shows you which levels are critical and why. If you're looking at the 618, why is the 618 critical? If you're looking at the 786, why is 786 critical? Okay, as far as I'm concerned, the 786 is not as critical. Right, so we're looking for this one to do that. Another diagonal as well. Okay, let's see how this one goes, how this plays out. So there's a number of alternatives in which this can play out, including on the S&P 500. So let's look at those alternatives. But these alternatives will disqualify or invalidate the structure that we're looking at. If this starts playing out like this and becomes a expanding flat, then that cannot be a wave 5. You cannot have a wave 5 that has got 3 waves. So that's why I'm projecting an ending diagonal in all of them. Okay. So there is that possibility, but that will invalidate the whole structure. Then you don't have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or rather that is not a wave 5. That is the Dow, the NASDAQ. We just don't have the time. We just don't have the time. Otherwise the video is going to be 2 hours long, 2.5. Okay, now we're looking at, I was just answering Heinz Synth, talking about adding Fibonacci levels. You'll see when I talk about Fibonacci levels, I'll show you which levels we're looking at, but we don't have time to project all that. And in any case, it's something that we do in our group. Okay, so we're looking for that to also make a diagonal there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a pullback. So short term here, you may be getting this 1, 2, 3, pullback 1, 2, 3. 1, do that, and then you get a 3-way move to the upside. So the NASDAQ can actually do that because it's not a pulsing move. The overall structure is not a pulsing move. Right, that is the NASDAQ. Now let's look at the Nikkei. So the Nikkei can actually be that structure because it is not a pulsing move. The bigger structure on the weekly is not a pulsing move, and we are not even looking at a wave 5 here. So we've got a 3-way move up here, so this can make this structure. Makes this zigzag here, and then we get another move like that. So we're getting these pullbacks, and then we're gonna push up higher. The UK 100. We looked at this whole thing as a pulsing move. Now this is another pulsing move. We should get a pullback here to make an ABC structure. So let's see if we get a corrective structure here. And when I draw it like this, it doesn't mean it's just going to do that. It may just be a clearly visible corrective structure, something like a 3-wave move, because that's what we always expect, a 3-wave move on a correction, either in any of the corrective structure that Elliott discovered. So we're waiting for the deeper pullback on the UK 100. Nifty. Corrective structure, still going to push lower. Remember the structure that we're looking at here on the Nifty. I think I missed the DAX, but we're going to go back to the DAX just now. So we're looking at this now to have made a pulsing move down, a correction, and a pulsing move. Now we want this one to correct and continue with this move to go retest the low here, even break it and make an expanding flat before continuing the move to the upside. DAX. So the DAX, also a pulsing move here in 5 waves, a deeper pullback like the UK 100. Then you get a 3-wave move like that. Okay, it's just loading a little bit slower. So the DAX, we can also look at an expanding flat, but if it goes lower than this, that expanding flat will not be valid anymore. Okay, so rather we'll have this one here, start of the correction, pull back, and another move like that. Okay, then we'll expect another move to the upside. So it's not over yet for the indices just yet. Thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the video so you get a notification next time I post a video. Thank you very much for attending, and thank you for watching. Have a great week. Cheers. Bye-bye.